Here's a question that's been bandied about in a bunch of different circles for a long time. How long should I really stick to the keto diet? A lot of people have been running a ketogenic diet for the better part of a decade. You take a look at guys like Brandon Carter. He goes by the handle King Keto. I think he's been running the ketogenic diet for, oh Lord, probably about a decade and change at this point. Other influential nutritional figures on YouTube, Thomas DeLauer, he runs keto for, quite a long time in an entire year. I think he runs it like 10 months out of the year or something like that. It's been a minute since I've checked in with his content, but a lot of people have differing interpretations of how long you should stick with any one diet. There's a couple of other doctors that are online that stick to it for a long time. Aaron Berg, Dr. Aaron Berg, right? Is that his name or something like that? I don't know, man. His videos always get recommended to me, whether or not my history is completely clean or if it's completely backed up with everything. He's always there up at the top. What's that guy's secret? But he's always up there, okay? And then there's other guys who take the more extreme version of the keto diet, okay? They just run carnivore diet and they've been doing it forever and they have no intentions of ever stopping, okay? So it's a very interesting proposition, okay? If it's working for you, should you continue to do it, or should you switch it out every once in a while? See if we can figure it out. You may know a lot about the benefits of the ketogenic diet, and you might have even followed it with positive outcomes. However, without knowing one piece of critical information, this diet can be harmful to your health. Oh my God, make sure that you're doing it right. The key point is how long you should follow the ketogenic diet. Some people view the ketogenic diet as the healthiest diet and choose to keep it for life, which can entail some serious risks. Oh my gosh. Keto diet, I'm just going to stop saying ketogenic. It's just additional syllables. I don't think really adds too much. Is regarded as a very effective way to lose weight quickly. It differs from the general diet in that the ketogenic diet has two major features. I already just, reneged on that, but whatever. Including high fats, very low carbohydrates. Exactly, because humans have evolved in a certain way and their adherence or their requirement of carbohydrates is actually pretty lacking. Okay, that's only been a thing since about the invention and the implementation of the standard American diet that was forced upon everybody by the Farmers Association, just paying for the food pyramid to be promoted. Make sure you go out there and get your 10 to 12 servings of grains every day, and then at about the same time you can track that and the obesity rates and the overall unhealthiness of the society at the same time that the food pyramid was out there being taught to everybody that that's the way that everybody should be eating. That's the only time that such high levels of carbohydrate intake have really been widespread. Because before that, a lot of people were just eating a whole bunch of protein and a whole bunch of fat at the same time. And carbohydrates were either a treat or just a byproduct of eating fruits and vegetables. Let's keep it a buck. Percentage of the dietary calories in the keto diet are approximately 70 to 80% from fats, 5 to 10% from carbs. I would say lower than that, but okay. And 10 to 20% from proteins. The way that I've seen it normally broken down is about 60 fats, 30 protein, and then 10 carbohydrates at best, okay? Normally single-digit carbohydrates, but then most people just kind of figure everything out based on how many grams they should be eating per day. Sometimes the lipids in the ketogenic diet even provide as much as 90% of the daily calories. I've also seen that breakdown as well. That's a little high, but I would also say that protein should be higher than that, but again, to each their own. If we use a dietary intake of 20,000 calories as a standard, a ketogenic diet requires the carbohydrate intake should be between 20 to 50 grams, not exceeding 50. Strict control of carbohydrates, as many know, medium-sized banana, which you shouldn't be eating anyways, a lot of fructose in those, and But when I want to get potassium, cool, and I also want to get riboflavin from Big Mac buns. When the daily intake of carbohydrates is restricted to less than 50 grams, insulin secretion will be significantly reduced. Okay. When the availability of carbohydrates is low, the storage of glycogen is depleted, and your body is forced to undergo certain metabolic changes such as gluconeogenesis and ketosis. Gluconeogenesis is an endogenous production of glucose, and the process occurs primarily in the liver. The liver uses a substance such as lactic acid, glycerol, and amino acids to make glucose. Yeah, because your body's going to break down stored fat in order to properly fuel itself. When the endogenous glucose is also unable to meet the body's energy needs, Which you're saying that you're properly satiated at the 2,000 calories, so you're kind of supposing a lot. It's almost like this is a keto smear piece. This is interesting. The body begins to use fats to produce ketone bodies to replace glucose as the body's energy source. True. During ketosis, blood sugar is relatively low because it doesn't need to spike. It doesn't need to deviate. It maintains a nice, healthy, low level, which is what you should be aiming for to begin with. This corresponds to a decrease in the storage of glucose and can decrease in fat production. Yeah, exactly, because you're using fats and you're breaking down fat, so you don't need to create fat. Simple as. At the time, the hormonal changes can stimulate the breakdown of fats and convert them into ketone bodies. There you go, which accumulate in the body. The metabolic state is called nutritional ketosis. In the state in which nutritional ketosis, I skipped ahead too far. Oh, the energy demands in organs and tissues are primarily met by ketones and fatty acids. Yes, exactly. And ketone bodies are one of the few things that can get through the blood-brain barrier in the head. Obviously, the brain presupposes that condition. It's one of the few things that can actually fuel the brain directly, and that's what makes the ketogenic diet so appealing to people, because once your body becomes fat adapted and you start to power yourself on ketone bodies, you start to think clear, you become more articulate, and you just become an overall better performing person because you're eating in line with your own human evolution. Ketone bodies, known as superfuel when compared to glucose. Yes, they last longer. You need fewer in order to produce more energy. Blah, blah, blah. Produce more energy. Hey, that is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This allows the body to produce more energy efficiently, even in caloric deficits. Yes, exactly. Your stored body fat. Imagine that. Ketone bodies can supply energy to the heart, muscle tissues, and kidney, and they can also cross, there it is, the blood-brain barrier to provide an alternative energy to the brain. So what sounds bad about this at all? 6 to 12 months of keto, highly efficient for weight loss, beneficial to health. All right, in recent years, ketogenic diet has been receiving more and more attention. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got to a point where it's crossed over from being a fad to being a legitimate way of eating. Okay, General Review published in Obesity Reviews conducted an overall study of low carbohydrate diets. It discovered that during the first 6 months, between 6 and 11 months, various obesity and ill health related indicators dropped significantly. Yay, good, great. 6 to 11 months, direct indicators of weight loss such as abdominal circumference, weight, and fasting blood sugar continued to decline. However, the BMI, wow, it's a good thing that we just went over a video about how bunk BMI is, and blood insulin levels stopped falling and stagnated. Yeah, exactly. You don't need insulin because insulin is a storage hormone. It takes the additional amount of energy that's in your body and then stores it. That's the only reason why it would spike. It's almost like if you don't need that and that your body's just consistently working off of its own stored fats or the fats that come in, because again, fats and protein, they don't stimulate insulin responses like carbohydrates do, because if you break a fast on carbohydrates, the insulin just spikes up through the roof. So you need to make sure that you are not eating anything more than what you need for a caloric satiety, to achieve a caloric homeostasis state within your body, because otherwise, with all of that free insulin that's going to be around, it's looking for things to grab and places to store it. So I don't know why this is bad. The diet's soothing and regulating effects of blood pressure also weakened. Yeah, exactly, because you're not constantly spiking it whenever you're eliciting an insulin response. It's almost like your insulin sensitivity is going right through the roof, which is good, because you don't want to be insulin resistant. You want to be insulin sensitive to a point. When entering the period between 12 and 23 months, expect for fasting plasma glucose index, which is still declining. Most of the other indicators have stopped falling, and they even start to rise. By 24 months, many indicators approach zero change. Yeah, and if it's all working for you, what's detrimental about this at all whatsoever? It just looks like you're trying to pull things meant to attack. I think I was correct in my smear assumption here. Following the ketogenic diet for over 1 year, blood lipids increased. Yeah, is that necessarily bad though? Oh my gosh, my cholesterol's up. Okay, which one? It doesn't matter. Oh, okay, cool. Ketogenic diet also allows the use of some healthy unsaturated fats such as nuts, almonds, and walnuts. Walnuts, yeah, I would I would take those out. I would definitely take almonds out. I think they're more of a risk than anything. There's a bunch of different things that are in there that aren't all that great. I would throw in pecans, macadamia nuts as well on top of that stuff. Walnuts are pretty good too, but for me that's at the bottom. I put pecans and macadamia up at the top. Anyways, seeds, sunflower seeds. I'm not too sure about any other seeds, but sunflower seeds are pretty good. But avocado, yeah, of course. Tofu, I don't think so. And olive oil. Tofu, I haven't heard much advocation for tofu in a ketogenic diet, but I could be wrong. However, in addition, people are also encouraged to consume saturated fats and palm oils. No, that's just not true at all. What are you talking about? Red palm oil, if anything, that's like a big no. This is ridiculous. Coconut oil, that's true. Lard, butter, some butter, grass-fed butter. Again, like this is... Because whenever I talk about the keto diet, okay, or paleo diet, there's a lot of, you do a lot of dairy, a lot of cheeses and meats out there. A lot of people do dirty keto, which is just like pepperoni sticks and just the little bundles with cheese and meat, and then they think that I'm doing the keto diet. No, that's just dirty keto, and it still has all those inflammatory markers on top of that, and those are still going to detrimentally affect your body, so you should probably go about this the correct way. You guys are being as least charitable in approaching this diet as possible. At least that's what I'm seeing so far. Compared with a low-fat diet, which is just AIDS incarnate, following a ketogenic diet for too long may lead to abnormal health indexes such as low-density lipoprotein cholesterol. Oh my god, my cholesterol. Oh, it's like we're in the late 90s all over again. Which is an increase in blood lipids, which can lead to the development of atherosclerosis. Just about got through that. Gosh, that's a tongue twister, at least for me, maybe. And an increase in cardiovascular diseases. Yes, of course, and breathing air is also a risk of cardiovascular disease. But this also presupposes that nobody's exercising at the same time, and then also indulging in dirty keto. The researchers conducted experiments on to compare 12 relatively convincing low-fat diets and the ketogenic diet with 1,258 participants. The experiment of all durations that exceeded 12 months, the results showed that following a low-carb ketogenic diet for up to a year resulted in significantly higher blood lipids. Imagine that. You eat fats, there will be more fats in your body. Wow! Than a calorie-restricted low-fat diet. Yep, no, exactly. But if you weren't taking a look at blood fats, because that's what blood lipids are, and if you had a proper 21st century understanding of cholesterol, you might be singing a different tune. This is a little bit disingenuous. At least the ketogenic diet had a relatively little regulatory effect on blood lipids, and it may even increase blood lipids. In addition, some people may not be able to control their carbohydrate intake at 5 to 10%. Yeah, those are what we call useless people who would just complain instead of getting healthy. For instance, a study published in the Journal of American Medical Association showed that compared to those who followed a low-fat diet, those people are inflamed and unhealthy. Followed a low-carbohydrate diet, the proportion of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins were 30, 45, and 23 respectively, had significantly elevated blood lipids. And yeah, outside of saying, that could be bad for your heart, you're not really telling us anything. Okay. As opposed to a low-fat diet. Oh yeah, there's plenty of research that's out there. Okay, high carbohydrate diets. Those people are generally unwell in comparison. Extended keto may lead to anemia and reduced antioxidant capacity. Currently, there are few conclusions about the long-term effects of the ketogenic diet on the human body. But let's tell you about some, okay? The study found that physical indicators of the rats. Oh, it's run on rats. Wow, that's definitely a 1-to-1 comparison. Okay. That followed the ketogenic diet for 60 consecutive days had worsened. In 60 days, the adult lab rats was equivalent to 4 years in humans. Okay. Among them, one distinctive change in the ketogenic diet increases the ketone bodies in the rat's blood. Okay. Blood pH values drop and acidosis occurs in them. In addition, the rats developed anemia with significantly lower red blood cells and hemoglobin counts. Cool. We just haven't seen that ever transfer over to human beings, though. How about that? Like, this is important and stuff, but do you have anything there? Like, there's a lot of things that you're just throwing at the wall to try to make stick. Hey, a bunch of lab rats kind of sort of got anemia, okay, and blood lipids are up, but again, what's the concrete science nowadays on cholesterol? Kind of really doesn't matter all that much. What the worst of best diets? Oh my gosh, the other side effects of long-term ketosis. Okay, well, you better come up with some before you find more. U.S. News and World Report. Oh, okay. Invited a number of experts to rate the world's top 40 diets. Oh no, what do the experts have to say on this one? Well, the Ketogenic Diet ranks 4th in the best diets for quick weight loss category. It ranks only 19th in the best diets for weight loss category. Sorry, what? So 4th for quick weight loss, 19th for best weight loss. Okay, it ranks 35th on both heart healthy diets. Oh, okay. And the easiest diets to follow category. Yeah, exactly. It's complex and it works. Okay. And again, these smear pieces, they're just funny at this point. It ranks 37th on best diet overall category. Okay. I don't know how it gets to 37th if it's 35th in one category, 19th in another, and 4th in that one. But okay, cool. Ketogenic diet severely restricts carbohydrate intake. So many vegetables, fruits, and grains are removed from the menu. Not really, not really. This can lead to deficiencies in micronutrients. Yes, it can. It can. But so can your regular diets. Because how are you getting enough protein if you're eating a fat-restricted, relatively high carbohydrate diet? How are you accomplishing that? I'm just wondering. Okay, how are you getting vitamins A, D, E, and K? But you're just worried about the ones that would potentially be done without, okay? Because again, I follow, paleo diet to keto diet, and selenium you can get through sesame seeds, or you can supplement. Magnesium, again, it's incredibly tough to get a sufficient amount, so supplementation is required, regardless what diet you're eating. Phosphorus, vitamin B, and vitamin C. Vitamin C is kind of an interesting thing, and Dr. Jordan Peterson posited this in the Joe Rogan podcast. I forget exactly which one it was. I think it was when he was first discussing the carnivore diet. Vitamin C's use in the body, well, everybody talks about how difficult it is to get it if you're eating a carnivore type diet. And obviously, yeah, certain supplements are required when you're doing that one. But do you really need vitamin C if you have no carbohydrates in your diet? That's an interesting question, not one that they're hoping to broach here because, well, yeah, it's used a lot in making sure that your immune system, at least that's the colloquial version out there. But hey, man, what we've learned over the past couple of years is that zinc, vitamin D3, and vitamin K, they're a lot more important. And zinc, did I say zinc? I think I did. Okay. Having all those three in your diet are far more efficient in maintaining an effective immune system than simple vitamin C. But okay. Restricted grains and legumes are rich in fiber. And yeah, both of those are very high in inflammation. We haven't talked about that at all whatsoever. Losing these sources of fiber in addition to increasing a risk of cardiovascular disease. It's weird. Okay, you have an increased problem with blood lipids. Okay, higher cholesterol. But then, okay, cool. But then you're not concerned with inflammation, which is the source and the root cause of so many different diseases that are in the body, including cardiovascular disease. You're kind of not addressing the elephant in the room in this one. Interesting. In addition, long-term side effects of the ketogenic diet may include hepatic steatosis, kidney stones, hyponatremia, and vitamin deficiency. Okay? It may, and it just sounds like you guys are just hating from outside the club. But that's just my opinion on this stuff. And this is about the most scathing takedown that I've seen in, oh Lord, a couple of years at this point. And still, doesn't really hold all that much water. You're just kind of not addressing all of the main points and really mischaracterizing the keto diet. And another reason why I stump for clean keto as opposed to the dirty one that's properly purported to be out there. But hey man, take that with a bucket of salt if you'd like to. And I'd always recommend high quality salt as well. Pink Himalayan, whenever possible. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.